Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Swim Gliding. Today I'm going to talk about very interesting approach how to save energy. 5-step freestyle. This is the title, as you can see it, 5-step freestyle. Although I'm going to share you the 5 steps, and after that we're going to glue them one by one to make them 4-step, 3-step, 2-step and complete cycle of stroke. So the 5 elements we need to do this exercise. Let's say that you are a swimmer, probably even an advanced swimmer. I've seen people like that. They are advanced swimmers. They do competitive swimming, and they do not have the ability to deconstruct their style. Or if I deconstruct the style of that swimmer, he cannot control himself, control his body exactly as I want to. Well, I think for advanced swimmer, you need to control your body. You need to do whatever you have to do. And you're going to see how simple it is, how simple exercise is this, and you'll be surprised how many people cannot do it. Let's say that you are a swimmer swimming outdoor. For this exercise, you must have the 3 basics that I spoke in my first video, and surely I'm going to talk about these basics in the future because they are the core foundation of my approach how to find mistakes and fix those mistakes. So the first basic is breathing. Yes, you've learned how to breathe. It might not be perfect, but you are doing it. You're swimming. Second base, you are in a horizontal position. Yes, you've learned it. It might not be perfect, but you are doing it. And the third, for freestyle and backstroke, rotation. Rotation is very important. Probably it's not also perfect, but you're swimming. I've seen people like this so often when I go to triathlons. They are good at the running and cycling. They manage with swimming, but they are very much struggling in the water. So let's imagine that you are doing those elements, not perfect, but still. This exercise is for you, how to fix it. Please, in the beginning, when you lay down in the water and you're doing the horizontal position, keep straight legs. It's so important to maintain a nice horizontal position. Straight legs, straight. Don't expect to be fast from straight legs. Legs, we need them for horizontal position mostly and not for something else. So keep straight legs with this exercise all the time. So yeah, lay down horizontal, and the first element that I want to share it with you is the stroke. It's quite simple. Push water backwards. Please, tip for this element is do not start the stroke from the surface of the water, because from the surface of the water there are a lot of mistakes done, but the main mistake that you can do from stroking from the surface is pushing down. You don't need to push downwards. You are losing energy for this. Pushing downwards makes your front part of your body goes up and legs and hips go down, which is very wrong. You need to keep horizontal position as said in the beginning. So start your stroke from at least 20 centimeters under the water. Even if it's too much, it's not that big problem at this point. We're going to fix it later. Even if it's too much, when you start stroking from there, you push water backwards and you go forward. You might apply some kind of power, a lot of power or a little of power in this stroke. We need to apply all the energy that we give, might be little or a lot, on the energy that we give to push it backwards so we go forwards. It's very important. I'm not saying you stroke with power. No, I'm saying give all the power that you give, all the energy that you give, spend it in the correct direction. So you go to the correct direction. This is the first element, quite basic. The second element is the rotation. Rotate only with your body. Do not apply the head. I want to separate the breathing as a separated element, actually 2 elements. I spent 2 elements for the breathing with this exercise. Go back to my previous video about the breathing cycle and you know why. So we did 2 elements so far, stroke and rotation. Very important elements. When you rotate, please do not exceed 90% rotation. You might go a little bit lower than this, like 80% degrees, 80 degrees, 75 degrees probably. But the less degrees you have, the more struggle you have to maintain this rotation. If you rotate like 50 degrees, you must kick with legs strong. You must apply a lot of force from your core muscles to maintain this direct rotation. So stroke, rotation, and now we're gonna do the third one is only the breathing, only the head. You do the stroke, you do the rotation, and now it's only the head sideways. If you rotate more like 90 degrees, there's no problem for you to lay down with your back of the head to be in the water and look up if you are afraid of inhaling some water. My advice is half of your head to be in the water. This is a little bit too much, but for now, for this exercise, it's okay. Usually what I do, my ear is in the water or my eye, which is quite close. My eye is always under the water. So this is the three elements: stroke, rotation, breathing. Of course, breathing cycle from the previous video, we've learned that the breathing cycle, there are two elements, inhale and exhale. We did the inhale part. Now is the simplest element from all those is the exhale. Just put your face down. Please, when you do this, please separate the elements. Do not connect them. When you do the stroke, do the stroke. When you do the rotation, do the rotation. Do not stroke and rotate at the beginning. It's very likely you might apply mistakes in the position of your horizontal position. Quite often people do, when they stroke, rotate and breathe, they first tend to lift their head and they're ruining the position. So keep the horizontal position no matter what. And how you're gonna do it? You're gonna do it while doing all those elements that I'm telling you, separated. So practice it, separated elements. Let's say again, what were the elements? Stroke, rotation, inhale, exhale, and now of course is just give your arm back in front of you. So you will start again. This we have completed that cycle. When you complete that cycle and you practice it, and when you start to get comfortable with that exercise, and maybe it's already boring even for you, we have to start going. We will start gluing the elements. The first elements that we're gonna glue is the stroke and rotation. So try to do the same exercise on 4 elements. The first 2 elements, now we connect them and they look like one element. Stroke and rotate. Continue with the kicking. Again, breathing is separate, inhale is separate, recovery is separate. Of course, repeat that. When you're comfortable, go for the next one. This is a little bit tricky now, not that complicated, but the mistakes come after this. Stroke, rotate, and breathe. Almost certain, if it's possible, make a video of yourself so you can see that almost certain when you start those 3 elements, stroke, rotate, and breathe, you will jump a little bit. Because again, we apply muscles from our back to lift our head up. So that's why I'm telling, practice the first steps, like 5 elements and 4 elements. And when you're comfortable with this, go for the 3 elements freestyle. The first 3 elements to connect them. If you are jumping, go back again, practice the stroke and rotation. You will see that you're not jumping. And the jumping comes from lifting your head up. Make contraction on your back muscles, on your gluteus also probably. Those muscles we don't need about the rotation. We need our front core muscles to rotate. Probably you are afraid to breathe while your mouth is close to the water. Probably that's why you're doing it. So pay attention about this. So the 3 steps freestyle is, again, we say stroke, rotate, and breathe at the same time. Of course, exhale and recover. When we try to do it as two elements, 2 segments, try to connect the face down and recovery. You know, it's like they are separated segments. So we do stroke, rotate, breathe, make a pause, and then face down and recovery. During the entire time of this exercise, you must have straight legs. Straight legs, straight legs, straight legs. Please, those straight legs are very important. Move the straight legs from the hips, not from your knees. Yeah, well, this exercise, what it does, when you start doing this exercise, you might not know it, but I'm going to share it with you. You will start to build an accent. which from previous video, if you didn't watch, go back and see it. I spoke about the elements, the basics, the 3+1 basics of swimming. The +1 is very important, but it's nothing without the first three, which the fourth is, the +1 is accent. When you do this exercise, if you notice, you start building accent on the strokes. I always separate the stroke, the cycle of stroke, on two parts. It's like water part, your arm finish here, and air part, recovery above. So if you pay attention about the both segments, they tend to have accent at the end of the movement. So you have stroke, the power is at the end, and you have recovery, the power is at the end again. It's always at the end, please, as doesn't matter how much you deconstruct any style of swimming, on how many elements you dissolve it, you will always find that those elements have accent, and the accent is always at the end. And with this exercise, what did we do? We did stroke backwards, the accent is at the end, and then recover the arm, accent is the end, is at the end. And of course, when you stroke with one arm, the other one tends to go forward. When you recover, the other one tends to go back. And this is how we create an accent, and the accent is for back and forward. One arm goes back, the other one goes forward. This is how we coordinating our body to point the energy toward the correct direction. So this is the exercise. Please practice it. I am sure it's gonna help. It will help you, but be patient with it. Structurize it correctly. I'm sure you understood what I'm saying about it, but it's one thing to know it. It's a different thing to make it, to do it with your body, with your coordination. You sense some problems with it, probably. It's how you go down, with the problems with the buoyancy. You tend to make some decisions to keep your head above the water, which is almost always. You curve yourself as a banana. Avoid this. If you like that exercise, please subscribe, like the video, and I'm expecting you in the next video in the future. Thank you. So far, goodbye.